In this video, I'll show you how to set your logo and color scheme. To get here, you're going to go to Settings and System Branding. It's also the first page you get taken to when you first log into your system. You'll notice here it says Set Your Logo. If you enter your business name or your brand name here, it will replace that. Now, if you also want to set a logo, what I recommend is a transparent background logo, something that is darker for the light mode, and something that is lighter for the dark mode, because you want to have something light to cover the dark colors and something dark to cover the lighter colors. Now this is where you set your light and dark mode color. It's the main color for your buttons, these borders by default, unless you set the border here. Also all of your links. So you see there's a link on the navigation tab right there that's that color. So usually what I like to do is just use this color picker until I match something that's very close to my logo. Once I have that, I may want to also set a light mode background color. So if I want the whole background of everything, the body background, to be a different color, you could set this something to like a light gray instead of white if you don't like the white. I usually like to just leave it white for the light mode color. But for the dark mode color, I usually like to set this to more of a gray color. I'll show you that in just a minute. So go ahead and save the changes with the logos. You notice my logo is really small right now. To adjust the logo height, you can change this to somewhere around 2.7 REM. And that will usually make a wider logo about the size that you want. If it's a up and down logo, you may want to make that less. Now for your logo position from top, you'll notice because I made it bigger, it kind of pushes it down more. So if you want to adjust that here, the position from top, I usually like to change that to 10 pixels. That will move that closer to the top. So you can just play around with those position and height settings until you have that look exactly how you want. And also if you want to make the entire top section, this little header up here, taller, you can adjust the header height right here as well if you want to make that taller or less tall. Now the browser favicon, that is what shows up in the address bar. So if you want to set an image for the address bar icon, you can set that right there. If you want to change the color, the background color of your drag and drop page builder, you can adjust that right here. Usually it's fine, just leave it by default, but if you want something that matches closer to the dark colors in your logo, you could do that here. Another thing I like to adjust is the section background color. So for the section background color, what I like to do is use this color picker until I have a color that's really close to the color of my logo. And then I'll drag this all the way to the left till it's really light. And then I also like to set this to 0.5 opacity, so it's even lighter than that. And then we'll go down and save the changes. And now if we go to the analytics, you'll see that we've got a really light screen here, a really light blue color that's covering all my sections. Now everything can be done for both the light mode and the dark mode. So you see here's the dark mode colors. Now to get to your dark mode, you just click on this icon up here and click on the moon. And you'll see that that is black by default. I usually like to make the dark mode a little lighter. So I'll go to my body background color here and change this to a gray color instead of black. Save that. You see now my dark mode is now a gray instead of black. So if you want to change these borders, You can set the border color right here for light mode, and since we're in dark mode, you would set it right here. Now for the main text color, by default in dark mode it's going to be white. If you want to adjust that to where it's a different color, you can. I go back to light mode. In the light mode, it's kind of a gray color. I like to adjust that in my case to solid black just because I think it stands out more. And this is your secondary text color. I usually like to set both of those to the same color and save the changes. So you see my black is sticking out a little bit more now. So it's just a matter of going in and changing all of these colors exactly how you want everything to look in both the dark mode and the light mode. One more thing you may want to change, you see if you click on these down icons for the navigation groups, you have this little gray dot and a bar. I usually like to set that dot to be the same color or close to the same color as my logo or my other colors here. So I'll kind of try to browse to a color that's really close to it. And then for the navigation connector line, I usually like to make that the same color as my text or just leave it gray. Also for your navigation icon color, these icons here, if you want to adjust that, you can change that there as well. So you see the drop down items have now been changed so they have this blue dot and the black bar connecting them. So it's just a matter of going in and changing everything exactly how you want it to look. And then you also have your login page logo width. I usually like to set that to about 80%. You can look at your login page and see if that looks exactly how you want it to look. If you want to make the logo bigger, just increase the percentage, or smaller, just decrease the percentage. Set that to whatever percent you want. And then you also have the option to adjust your background color of your login page for both the light mode and the dark mode, and also the borders and the border opacity.